Okay. Hi guys. So first let me start off saying that I am feeling the heebie-jeebies like I felt when I first got on stage for the first time. I'm incredibly nervous about this because I think I got everything figured out, but at the same time, I'm very uncertain on the outcome. So I am like incredibly nervous. I can't see the chat or anything. I know there's a couple of people. Thank you guys for coming in, and let's get to it. If you guys don't know me, my name is Charles Foster. I'm actually the owner and the visionary of Foster Music Collective. Been doing this for about a year now. I'm so thankful to be able to do this. I was supposed to go into my day job this morning. I woke up too late this morning, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna still make it productive. So decided to kind of stream on something that I'm actually working on. It came This idea actually came from just experimenting with my baritone guitar that I just purchased maybe a couple months ago. And so I was like, and I just got a new amp plug in, and I wanted to hear what it sounded like in conjunction with one another. So it came out pretty cool. And so now I'm gonna just lay down a bass line for it. And here's a disclaimer: playing stuff on guitar quickly is fairly easy because you're dealing with thin strings. With bass and trying to play quick is a nightmare, and I hate myself for this because I'm somewhat of a purist and perfectionist. But I know when the second half of this, I'm gonna have to slow this thing down because it's really tough to play on bass. So please bear with me. I don't want to think of it as cheating, but I do know it is cheating. Anyways, here's the track. Another thing is that keep in mind also that I love all types of music, and everything. It's like I was telling a new friend of mine that I kind of write in the vein and what I'm feeling, right? So I can go from R&B, soul like D'Angelo, um, Jill Scott, The Roots, all to metal. And so recently I've been on this metal kick, and maybe it's because the weather's getting warmer and it's a lot of energy. And so this is a metal track. So if you guys don't like metal, I'm sorry. Hopefully, if you hear this, it might kind of open your eyes to the genre. But anyways, I call this. This is actually called a mega. What is it, like a mega something? Let me take a look, because you guys can't see it on my screen. So let me take a look at the running title idea. Omega Groove, and the reason why it's called that is because this amp that I'm using, I don't know if you'll be able to see it on the screen, but I'm gonna double click on it. See? Nope, you won't be able to see it. But this is actually called the Omega Ampworks Granifier, and it's actually a guitar cab plugin or an effect plugin. So for us people that don't have the space to have a huge amp in their apartments, this works perfect, especially when it comes to recording. Without further ado, let's just listen to the track real quick. It's not full. It's not a complete track. It's just maybe like 16 to 17 measures. Actually just two riffs that I just comped together to create a motif. And then if it goes well, then I'll develop it. But I'm excited about it because the guitars came out pretty cool. And let's get right to it. So first we'll just go through the initial idea that I came up with, and then we'll start working on the bass line. Okay, here it is. Okay, so two parts, right? First part's kind of like a groove, and then it kind of breaks down into this slower groove. Now we're gonna try to do the bass line right on it. So setting this up, I did a lot of like kind of pre-configuring to make sure that the bass is kind of dialed in properly. I got a slight compressor on it, some EQ, and I'm running as my audio or my amp simulator. I'm running Guitar Rig 5. All right, so I decided to kind of actually just work on the first part because I'm gonna slow the second. I'm gonna say the second half of this slow. We're gonna slow it down to like maybe, because if you look at the bottom right of the screen, it says that set to 110 BPMs, and for me playing bass, I can't do it. I tried it over and over, and I'm like, can't do it. But the first part, I think I got pretty decent. So we're just gonna loop this, kind of isolate just the guitars real quick so you guys can hear it. Oops. Without the drums, I just muted everything by soloing the instrument. So what we'll do is, it's gonna take a minute. So if I do, just take out the drums, right? So I'm just gonna take out the drums and then listen to measures. I think it's what? Okay, let me magnify the screen or demagnify it. Okay, so let's just take the first 8 measures, right? And yeah, just the guitars. Drums are muted. Okay, cool. Now adding the bass. Man, I am so nervous. All right, let's see. Sounds good. So the cool. So while I was working on this before the stream, I was like, well, you know what? To kind of give it some dynamic, kind of keep the bass hugging the kick drum a little bit, and then open up to follow the guitars the second half of the measures. So it's kind of tricky. Like I think I want to say from measures 7 to 9, so just 2 measures. But we'll make it work. So let's just play through it without recording it. This is just the loop, just to kind of get a feel for it. And let me take a look at what's happening in OBS just to make sure that you guys are hearing things properly and clean. And let me check my phone. Yep, okay. 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 All right, let's do it. Yeah, that's tricky. And it's definitely tricky without playing drums or without having the drums on it. Because the drums actually sets the groove for the bass. So I'm let's try it with the drums. And for some reason, no, the drums are not. Well, it makes sense, right? If we're looking here, it doesn't come in until measure 5. All right. And I created the loop early. Again, please bear with me. I am nervous, so I'm gonna make a lot of mistakes through this whole video, but I have no problems exposing myself. Okay, let's knock that out one more time. So because I hear something that's happening, and I've recorded these guitars like in, I'd say, about 3 or 4 takes, and now I can't get the in part on the bass. This is a pain. should try to play it all the way through, but I'm not gonna do that. I think I'm giving myself about 20 to 30 minutes to do this, and then if I can get it, I got it. If not, oh well, I'll just do this on my own time. Everybody's time is valuable, so let's try it real quick, and then I'm actually gonna go into a lead in, so I'll take it from. So I have like some bass slide into the groove, right? And then I got to make sure that I do not record the string vocal. So if you see track 1 right here, that's my string vocal. This is the way to get basically my vocal audio into the stream. So we're going to just mute this when I record. Otherwise, it's going to record it. And here comes the BS. Okay, so real quick. So I teach, and then I have students where they're like, I go through the lessons, no problems, and when I'm practicing at home, but every time I have, when I come to lessons, I keep making mistake after mistake after mistake. I was like, that's cool. And I call that the red light syndrome, meaning as soon as you know that it has to be it has to be really good, then you're so consumed of getting it perfect that you're not really focusing on what you're playing. So I tell my students just to relax. I need to take my own advice. So let's try it again. That's exactly what's happening. I keep. I think it came through. Let's see. I'm keeping it. I'm gonna go listen to this after the stream, and I'll probably just redo it because it is playing. I'm playing ahead of the beat slightly. Now, if I go in here and you see, okay, let's see measures or tracks 7 and 8. You see how these are actually black? It's because I quantize them. And for those who don't know what that term means, it simply means that if you're playing ahead or behind a groove or a meter, what quantize does is that it finds the note and moves it to the nearest beat, so they lock, right? And especially when you're playing tight music like metal or even like EDM, things have to be really, really tight. So I use that often, even with audio. So right now it sounds like it's playing. I'm playing ahead of the beat, which I am. So I'll quantize it later. So I'm happy with that. And then this monster right here. So let's just do. Measures 13 through 16 without the guitar or without the drums. This is the riff. Nope, I'm not. I was struggling playing it at that tempo anyways on a freaking baritone. Playing this on bass, It's not gonna happen at that tempo. It would be, I'd be here for like 50 minutes just getting it in. So, like I said earlier during the stream, I'm gonna cheat a little bit. I'm gonna slow this down. Please don't hate me. I'm gonna slow it down and get this out. So again, let's listen to it one more time. And measure 17 through 20 are basically the same as 13 through 16. Okay, so I'm just looping them, or not looping them. Yeah, basically looping them. And what I'll do, because I've been hearing like the last measure of the groove, kind of creating a variation. But this is fairly new right now, and the more I listen to it, the more ideas I get. I think that happens with a lot of artists. So one more time. Yep, I'm totally slowing that down. So if you look at the bottom right, this is 110. How slow am I gonna? How slow am I gonna take it? Let's try 90, right? It's gonna sound totally different, but I want to make sure this is dialed in correctly. So we'll take it to 90, right? I know I can play it at this speed. All right. Oh, I feel so bad about doing this. Oh, no judgment, please. So this is what it sounds like at 90. And then while I'm talking up a storm because I had coffee with espresso, don't do that. At the end of this, the note that I'm playing is actually a G, but it should actually be an A flat or a G sharp because it lends itself really well repeating. So what I have a little trick with that where I can just raise the note a half step in Melodyne, which is an auto tune plugin. A lot of tips and tricks for us producers out there, and I'm taking advantage of all of them. So I'm gonna play along with it at this tempo. I think I got it, but let's just try it. Yep, I got it. Okay, so let's let's try it from measure 13. Hope you guys are enjoying this. I'm having a blast. This is my very first stream with everything working properly. So I plan on doing a lot of these in the future. But just to also give you heads up, this is what it sounds like. I mean, this is the video and audio quality that my students actually get to experience when we have online lessons. So I'm super excited, and I actually have an individual I'm talking with on something very, very cool if we can pull it off. But that shall be talked about in a later time. Okay, so let's record this real quick. I'm so glad I didn't record that. So I'm gonna try it again without recording it. Hey, you know what I'm gonna do, right? I'm gonna copy and paste this. Like I said, this is for streaming purposes. I know when it comes to actually laying the bass line down in my own time, then I will actually play everything through. And the beautiful thing about this is that this is actually, I don't know what I was gonna say. Oh, that I'll be able to my fingers get stronger as I go through this, because again I don't play this fast, or I don't play this technically on my bass. On guitar, yes, but not on bass. So let's just see what this sounds like at 90 BPM. Yep, exactly. And so because I want to see what that sounds like tightened up, I'm just simply going to quantize it to 16th notes. Bam. And now let's see what it sounds like. I really do feel bad. But I know in my heart that I'm going to be doing this over at real tempo. It's just going to take me forever. All right. So now, let me first put this back at 110. Let's listen to it at that tempo. Oh well, okay, so we're gonna duplicate this, right? Yeah, so because I led in with a bass slide, I have to kind of, where's that at? So, right here. Not bad, right? Not bad. And then let's just see what happens here. Yeah, it's gonna annoy me, so I'm going to quantize this too. These blue lines represent transients, meaning how they find the note and then they move it to the resolution. And if you and you'll see certain notes in green and then certain notes in red. The ones that are in green are the ones that actually got moved. Where I do believe the ones that are highlighted in red, like this, the beginning of it, like of the slide, um, those are unaffected. But I think that's how that works. All right. So we don't need this information, and we can actually just do a nice little fade into the bass slide, right? Let's hear what it sounds like from this point. Okay, it works. It sounds good. One thing as far as tone wise, it's very growly. So I'll go into guitar rig and I'll take some of the mid range out, right? Take some of the mid range out, give a little bit of the low in, and I can also put a parametric EQ on here and kind of treat it a little bit. But right now, I'm just gonna do everything within the plugin. So I want more of the top end because I'm playing with a pick and I want that to cut through the guitars. So I'm gonna add a little bit more there, and maybe depending on how the bass sits against the drums, will I add a little bit of distortion just to kind of give it a little bit more some some crunch. All right, let's see. And then I'll be done. I want to see. I'm doing this as a kind of a trial just to see how everything looks regarding the string. Okay, let's see. And then I'm gonna have to pull the volume down because you definitely hear more bass. Like one of my mentors told me that you have to the key of playing or creating a solid bass line is hugging the kick drum. So I'm trying to do that as much as possible. So yeah, it's still prominent as far as mid range goes. Let me do one more thing. I'm just gonna loop this just to kind of dial it in as we listen. Mistake. So you notice what's highlighted right here, the top one on track 10, right? Well, I clicked on the I clicked on that plugin, but what we're listening to is the bass line on track 11, and I'm like, why don't I hear a difference? Well, figured it out. So let's go to this plugin and try again. There we go. So this is with it without the bass. With the bass. And so now I gotta remember what I did, what the settings were here. I'm not gonna try to remember it. I'm too old. My memory is not as good as it used to be. So what I'm gonna do is delete this plugin, right? And then I'm just going to use what I did on the second bass line and move it to that particular track, to the other track. So the settings are completely identical. All right. And let's listen to it from the beginning and then I'll conclude. So again, thank you guys for tuning in. Yeah, man, I'm gonna be doing a lot of these, and if you give me some feedback as to how I can improve, I greatly appreciate it. I am always open to constructive criticism. Destructive, I'm gonna be destructive right back at you, but positive, constructive criticism doesn't hurt anybody. All right, from the beginning, and then I'll close. Yep. Okay, cool. I am okay with that. For now, again, I apologize for me having to slow the second half down. It is a monster on my left hand, and I like my hands, right? I'm not trying to get arthritis before it's time. Again, thank you guys for watching. I love you. Bless you. Tell someone that you love them today, okay? Take care.